She's all right when you get to know her. This is my podcast, and it takes you from your restrictive, toxic, life-limiting 9 to 5 into a life on your terms, full of freedom and flexibility as a self-employed virtual assistant. So whether this is your first introduction into the possibility of becoming a VA, or perhaps you've been doing a bit of Googling already, I'm going to get rid of the overwhelm, rid of the self-doubt, and show you that this life is possible. I've not just started this rodeo, you know. I'm Catherine Gladwyn, and I've been doing what you think is impossible since 2015. Shall we get started? Hello. Well, this episode I wasn't planning on recording, and it has been a real struggle trying to record it because I'm in the middle of radiotherapy at the moment. Like, not literally, I haven't just popped out of the machine halfway through my session, but I think we start next week at day 19. So I've got 12 more sessions to go, and I've been having gamma knife radiotherapy on my pituitary tumour, and we'll just see what it does. I'm kind of like a guinea pig at the moment for it, as I was with the chemo that they gave me, and that was a unbelievable success. So hopefully I will get the Nobel Peace Prize for that one. We will see. But no, what I wanted to share with you in this one is this isn't just for new or aspiring virtual assistants, this episode. It's also for those that have been around a little while and perhaps are worrying, rightly, that, what do you do when you get really ill? What do you do when a family member needs you, for a long time, perhaps? Because during my business, I've lost my dad. My dad, he died. He didn't wander off somewhere and we lost him. But he had a cardiac arrest, and then his dementia just got really bad, and he had to be sectioned. He knew who I was all the way up to when he passed away. But I'd had a very difficult upbringing because it wasn't how I would have, how I would like other people to be brought up. So there was a lot of distress between me and my dad. And because I wasn't employed, because I created my own schedule, because I'm self-employed, I was able to sort that relationship out and be with him and make his life as comfortable as possible until it ended. And I would not have had that if I was employed. But did I have any other stresses around that time? Did I lose clients? Did I lose money? Did the business go under? Was I stressing about marketing? No, none of it. And I want to share with you how you can make your business the same. We all seem to think that employment is the safest option. And because it used to be, in the 90s, I was walking in and out of jobs. I'd walk out of a job on a Friday because I didn't like it, and I'd get another one on a Monday. That isn't me exaggerating. They were temporary jobs. You could walk into a temping agency and say, I want to do this, that, and the other. And you'd get it. You'd get the job the next Monday. Now, something that I have openly shared, but you may not know because I don't go on about it all the time, but in the early days of my virtual assistant business, I had to go back to employment. And that is when everything changed for me. And now also why I'm in a position to help you to ensure that your business thrives, survives, and is sustainable and is just a breeze, if you like. We all get stresses, but let me share with you the things that you can do to ensure that your business keeps going, even when you want to stop. So early on in my business, I had this one client that was taking up not only a lot of my time, but all of the income that I needed as well. Well, most of the income that I needed as well. And I lost her because she was an absolute pain in the bottom. It was untenable. I'll give you the final straw for me was she texted me one Sunday night. I need this document ready for my 9 o'clock meeting in the morning. Don't worry about it now. You can do it tomorrow. And I'm thinking well, my working hours are 10 till whatever they were, and you need it for 9 a.m. There's a possibility I'm not going to be, awake then to do it for 9 a.m. tomorrow. I've now read your text on a Sunday night, and so I'm going to have to do it now. So I went into her inbox and I got everything I needed from there, got that document and forwarded it to her email so that she had it in her inbox. And I texted her back and I said, all done, it's in your inbox for 9 o'clock tomorrow. She didn't reply. She went to her meeting. Later that afternoon, she phones me. I answered the phone and she said, what were you doing in my inbox on a Sunday night? I didn't give you permission to go into my inbox on a Sunday night. Are you actually kidding me? And it was like that all the time. And do you know what? It was really negative and really stressful at the time, but it helped me create some boundaries. Like, I ain't giving anyone my phone number. Anybody texts me on a Sunday night, they're blocked. My working hours are set. Somebody wants something at 9 o'clock in the morning, they need to be reminded of my working hours, or they're going to get charged perhaps a little bit more. So when I lost her as a client, because I didn't have other clients that were going to fulfill my financial requirements, I had to go and get a job. So I went to a temping agency and I found one that I could start a week later if I got through the interview. I got through the interview, started the job. I had to get up obviously earlier than I liked to get there for 9 o'clock. And I just cried. I stood outside and I cried and I phoned my partner and I said, I don't want to do this. I had to. I needed to get money in, I needed to do it. But I said to him, I don't want to do this. And I had to go in. I went in. I hated it. I was there about 6 weeks, long story short. I think it was about 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that. I managed to get other clients while I was there because I was just marketing the hell out of everything. I was online. I was networking within Facebook groups. I was hectic on LinkedIn. I was everywhere. I was making sure the customer journey on my website was spot on. I was just evaluating everything, and I was contacting people, sending out my templates that are in the VA starter guide, and I got the clients. And while I was there at work, right, at this employment, things that reminded me that if I even needed reminding that I didn't want to be employed, I did an out of office because I took a day off to take my daughter to IKEA. And I did a external out of office to say, I'm out of the office today. I will be back tomorrow. Please contact blah, blah, blah if it's urgent, or I will respond to you before noon tomorrow. But I also did an internal out of office just for my colleagues and put, I'm currently being fleeced in IKEA, ready to send my daughter off to university. I will get back to you tomorrow. And the boss saw this internal out of office because she emailed me and went absolutely bonkers. They got IT to access my computer. They took down the internal out of office. And then the next morning I was called into an office to say it's unprofessional. It's this, it's that, it's this. And I'm like, you didn't even get permission to access my computer, that you have to get permission first. There's nothing in my terms and conditions to say that you can do that. And secondly, it was only going to internal people. And it's like, I did nothing wrong. How dare you do this to me? And from that moment on, I was never going back to employment. And that really, really kicked me and gave me the fire to make sure that it never happened again. I also had another client at that time, and I said to her, how do you avoid the feast and famine? So I know some people don't know what the feast and famine is, so allow me to explain. If you do know what it is, please don't think I'm saying you don't. It's always difficult to know who knows what. But feast or famine is often associated with people that are self-employed. One minute you've got loads of clients and you've got loads of work coming in, and the next minute you've got nothing. So one minute you can have a feast, the next minute you're struggling. And I thought, I don't know why I thought of this, but I'll share it with you. I thought Bill Gates don't go through that. He just kept making money. He just kept on. So there must be a way to do it. And I spoke to one of my clients at the time about it. And I said, how do you avoid feast or famine? She said, you don't. It's just one of them things. You just got to put money away if you can when you're in feast. And the Bill Gates thing came to me and I thought, I ain't having that. I'm not going through famine. And that is how the story starts. I need a jingle. I still ain't got a jingle to do like the dramatic stuff and that, but You may have heard that I wrote a second book, right? And it's called The 20% Rule. I wish I hadn't called it that. I wish I'd called it How to Avoid Feast or Famine, but I can't change the bloody name of it now. Otherwise, all the reviews and everything disappear. But the 20% rule, I think I've mentioned it in other podcasts, so you might already know, and you might be thinking I'm going to put her on 1.5 speed now. The 20% rule is no one client should take up more than 20% of your time or your income. Now, I came up with that because of the client that I lost that meant I had to go back to work. If she had not taken up more than 20% of my time and my income, I would have been all right. I wouldn't have had to have gone back to work and been in that situation. So I made sure from that moment forward that I worked to ensure that no one client took up more than 20% of my time or my income. Because if you lose one, you're fucked, right? Now, I also know that you can't do that when you're right out of the starting gates and you've just launched your VA business. It's impossible. So it has to be something that you're going to work towards and not ignore. Now, I've had people sometimes say to me, it's easier said than done. No, it's not. I'm not anything special at all. If I can do it, and if all of the other successful long-term virtual assistants can do it as well, you can bloody well do it. It is not easier said than done. And it always just boils down to two things, which I will share in a minute. But that's the first thing you need to have on your list of things that you're going to do. Is your goal is to not have more than one client taking up too much time, too much income. Now, as I'm going through these 30 days of radiotherapy, I'm reminded even more how important it is to have your business set up in such a way that it can still thrive without you. And there are so many things that you can do. And again, they might be long-term goals, or you might be in a position now where your VA business is comfortable and you think, actually, I'm going to implement that. And you may even find that you need to work with your own VA, because I'm coming back from radiotherapy every day, absolutely exhausted. I'm only in that machine for 10 minutes, but it has an effect on your body. And the fatigue is now kicking in, the migraines, I'm getting daily migraines. I get neck and backache and I feel nauseous. I can't eat. Every time I think about eating, whatever it is, I've even opened my advent calendar, like the whole thing, because what's the point in doing it daily? Pointless, isn't it? And I can't eat that either. And that is very telling that something is wrong. But as I go through this journey, I'm able to not worry about doing things. I'm able to not worry about whether my marketing's going to be okay, because I've got things in place that ensure my business keeps going. And you can work towards doing those things as well. It's allowing me to prioritize not only my health, but as I said before, it allowed me to prioritize other people. He's upstairs at the moment, so I can say, but he had a migraine, right? On the second week of my radiotherapy, and he still thinks he's suffering from it now. So on the days that I've got a little bit of energy, I can mollycoddle him as well. The rest of the time, he needs to mollycoddle me. But yeah, this is also, I don't share anything about income or anything like that very often, because this is not why I do this. I do this to help women create a working life that doesn't suffocate them, that doesn't stress them out, that doesn't make parenting hard, that doesn't make chronic health hard. You know why I do this, and the gift of this virtual assistant business is priceless. But I've also in a position financially to allow my partner to take 6 weeks sabbatical unpaid from work. I can cover all of the household income. I can cover everything for those 6 weeks where he's not earning, because I want him present and here to help me during this difficult time. So why am I sharing all of this? It is not about me. I'm not here to boast about anything. I'm here to show you that it is possible, and I can always back everything up. Everything. You don't have to stay in a fear of famine. You can stay in feast. It takes time, as with anything that's beautiful and wonderful, right? Let's just crack on with things, and I'll give you some more ideas as to how you can really make sure your business is secure. But again, I just want to specify that these are long-term goals. Don't get yourself stressed early on. You've got to have these in your mindset and you've got to be working towards them from day one, but you're not going to achieve them from day one. Now, in the group, sometime this week, somebody did say that their work is slowing down, their projects that they're doing are coming to an end, and they've got no clients on the back burner, so to speak. And unfortunately, that is because they've not been marketing. I know, marketing is hard work. And this person themselves said that they're busy, they're also working full time and they're applying in inverted commas for associate jobs. But we've all got to do it. And I'm not outing this person as doing anything wrong. I completely understand that everything gets on top of you. But there are moments where you can do things. Like I'm getting migraines every day at the moment from the radiotherapy, but there are little snippets of time. If I eat some Percy pigs, the sugar gives me a kick and then I can do this. I can record this podcast for you. So it's about finding time, and marketing really does need to be something you're doing from day one. But long term, what you can have is you can have yourself regurgitating stuff, stuff that you posted 6 months ago. Post it again. Start keeping a log of everything you're posting, whether you're just posting on a whim or, just as you get out of the shower because you felt creative then, or whether you really are planning everything. Regurgitate it. Go back to it. Have it on a diary, just go back and look at January's when you get to August or something like that. But also, long term, you need to have a strategy. You need to know what you're going to be posting in, so we're in December at the moment. Ideally, you would know everything that you're going to be posting, wait for it, until March of the next year. And I don't mean verbatim. You don't have to have every word in every post written, but roughly I want you to know what you're going to be talking about, say during January. So in January, everybody's thinking about the goals ahead, your potential clients are thinking about their goals ahead. So your marketing should really be talking about that, how you can help them reach their goals. So perhaps think of something else. If we're in March, they're starting to worry about their bookkeeping not being up to date. Even February, you could start talking about that. So if you offer bookkeeping, you could have end of February, all of March, talking about how you can take away their bookkeeping so that they don't have to worry about it, so that it reduces their accountancy fees because the accountant doesn't have to sit with a bag of receipts. You've already done all of that and you're less per hour than an accountant. So think about what you're going to be posting and that will be your strategy. And mixed in between that will be a few personal posts, it'll be a few testimonials as you get them. It'll be talking about, the VA survey comes out every year. You could talk about that in November, in December, whatever it is. But start thinking about a strategy. I am considering putting something together to help you create strategies, but it just feels so daunting when somebody says you've got to create a marketing strategy. I mean, your business is going to be fine if you haven't got a strategy. However, it's going to help you. If something does happen to you or, a family member and you need to just step away, your marketing is going to be the first thing that's hit. And it shouldn't be, because that is what is going to continuously get you clients. And that's what's going to keep your business going. So if you've got a strategy and you've got a plan for the rest of the year or 3 months in advance, then you don't have to worry. You can just throw a post out once a week. You know what you're going to talk about. It's easy peasy because you've been doing your job for a long time and you don't have to worry about it. Or you can hand it over to somebody else, another VA, to cover your business while you're dealing with whatever family emergency is going on. But just imagine if you have got stuff written for the next 3 months, you could then just get a VA in to just post it for you. Brilliant. Now, the other thing is audience building. Okay, every time somebody comes in to the group or messages me and says, look, I'm not getting clients, nobody's liking my stuff, nobody's commenting on my stuff, I go straight to their LinkedIn or to their Instagram, wherever they've got their marketing going on, and the audience has either not grown for a long time, or it's stuck at 200, or they're not engaging with other people to help build their audience that way. You've got to continually build your audience. So I had that sale. I don't know if you knew, I had a 20% off sale in September, which means people that were umming and ahhing whether they were going to buy one of my courses, bought them. So that means my audience of buyers decreases once the sale's over. So during October and November, my marketing strategy was heavily focused on building my audience again. I'm building it every month with, my lead magnets and giving away free things and competitions and things like that. But like I said, during October and November, I was heavy on the audience building to bring it back up. And also currently my subscriber list is, I will check it to give it to you exactly, 19,518. Now, I always get unsubscribes when I send a newsletter out because people are perhaps no longer interested in being a VA, or there's nothing in there that they're interested in. And I also regularly clean my subscriber list. So I kick people off of it. If they've not opened an email in 6 months, then I get rid of them because I'm paying for them. I pay for the subscribers. And I don't want people on there that don't want to open my emails because it reduces my open rate. And so I get rid of them. So I'm always either at 20,000 or just over, or at the moment I'm just under because I just had a massive clear out. And so I'm always working on building that audience as well to keep that either side of 20,000 because I find that's a good number. So 20% rule, marketing, audience building, and then I've got 2 more things for you as well. The first thing is something we really should do more often, I think, especially, when we're running our own business. And if something happens, then you're not going to have time to look at things like this. So I think we constantly need to look at it. And I was making a few errors. I'm talking to myself here, actually, when I'm saying we need to constantly look at that, is checking your outgoings. Are you paying for a piece of software every month that you're not using every month? Is a subscription coming up for an annual subscription with a bit of software that you're not actually getting the best out of, and perhaps you want to downgrade? Or are you part of like a membership community of other business owners and you're paying, I don't know, £30 to £50 a month for it, whatever you're paying, and you're not really getting that money back because you're not spending enough time in there? I have only recently put on notifications for my bank app to see what money's going in and out. And I did that because I had some money stolen from a software account. I got it back. But yeah, I thought, I'll put notifications on so that I can see if any big transactions go through and it isn't me. And it's been brilliant because something came up the other day where I was paying monthly for this AI software to help do AI videos. And it's all right. It's okay. But I haven't used it for 2 months. And so I paid £108. It was £54 a month. And the second month went through where I hadn't used it, and I only noticed because I put me notifications on. So I got rid of that. That's saving me £54 a month. No, it all helps. And if I was to suddenly go off sick, I've not got time to look at any of that. And nobody else has got access to your business account either, have they? So do keep an eye on your outgoings as well. I think that is really something we should do more and more. The other thing I wanted to say, and it's the last thing because I get ever so tired from this radiotherapy, so this episode isn't very long, but is SOPs. Oh my God, I've forgotten what they're called. I'm going to have to Google it. See, I get tired, you see. I know you're all shouting at me, like, it's a standard operating procedure. Yeah, it's all right when you're not actually there, isn't it? It's like, if you're there, it's like, what is it? Tipping point. Easy to say the answer when you're not actually there in the studio. I'm here in the studio, my bedroom. It's like a studio. But yeah, what are they called again? Standard operating procedures, SOPs to people like me. But I think it's a great idea to create them for your own business. But hear me out as well. It's also a great upsell to your clients. Offer to create them for your clients in case, you could do it jokingly, like in case you get hit by a bus or God forbid, or if they want to get rid of you or something like that. But yeah, you can sell them that. You can say, would you like me to create you an SOP or an admin Bible, as I also call it? And you could, offer to sell that to them for £120, something like that. I don't know, I'm just throwing out a figure. But also create one for yourself. I think there are like pieces of software that can help you create it, but it doesn't have to be that big, You can just say, for client A, I do this, that, and the other. Make sure that you keep the documents safe and think about who you would want to see it, but also let your clients know that you're creating it as well, just in case they got any problems with the data protection stuff. Also, saying that, one last thing, check your contracts. Check that they do mention that you might hand over your work to an associate. If not, then it might be a good idea to just mention that to a client. Just say that you're covering all eventualities should anything happen. You just want them to know that in the event of anything happening to you, they won't be affected because you will hand over everything to a trusted associate. And that leads me on to another thing, because it wasn't 2 things, it was 4, wasn't it? Earmark some VAs now for you that you think, oh gosh, she's good. I'll keep her on my radar to do this, that, and the other should anything happen. Find yourself a business bestie or something. I got Jo. Jo's my business bestie, and I couldn't have got through. I was going to say the first lot of neurosurgery I had after I met her, but it's been all of them, to be honest. All of them. She's not out me this time, though. She hasn't sent me anything. Oh, she sent me a car, and it's nearly Christmas, so I know I'll be getting a dusty Toblerone that's been sat at the back of her kitchen cupboard since last year. Yeah, anyway, next episode will be about how can I find a business bestie. Me, I need a new one. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you're ready to reclaim your independence, then subscribe to this podcast because there is so much I'm going to give you. You got to subscribe on your favourite channel, it says. What channel? I ain't going to be on the BBC, am I?